she said they were. Just catching up. I found a photo of them at the same restaurant where we had our first date. Even sat at the same table. I sent it to her. Captioned. Déjà vu? I met Sarah at a coffee shop downtown. She was reading a book I loved, and that sparked our first conversation. We hit it off immediately. Our first date was at the Pink Door, a cozy Italian restaurant near Pike Place Market. We sat at a corner table with a view of the water. It was magical. Over the next 3 years, we built a life together. We moved in, adopted a dog named Max, and talked about the future. She was my best friend, my confidant, my everything. I thought we were solid. About a year ago, I noticed Sarah becoming distant. She'd spend more time on her phone, often smiling at messages she wouldn't share. When I asked, she said it was just friends catching up. I wanted to believe her. I trusted her. One evening, while Sarah was in the shower, her phone buzzed. A message preview popped up. Last night was amazing. Same time next week? My heart sank. I opened her phone. Yes, I know, privacy, but I had to know. There were messages from a guy named Jake, someone she claimed was just an old college friend. They'd been meeting up for months. The next day, I needed clarity. I scrolled through Sarah's photos and found one that shattered me. It was her and Jake at the Pink Door, sitting at the exact table where we had our first date. Same spot, same angle, even the same bottle of wine. She had recreated our special moment with him. I couldn't hold it in. I sent her the photo with a single caption. Déjà vu? No response. She came home later, eyes red from crying. She apologized, said it was a mistake, that she still loved me. But the damage was done. I packed my things and left. Moved in with a friend temporarily. Sarah tried to contact me multiple times, but I needed space. I needed to heal. I'm not a spiteful person, but I couldn't let it go. I created a blog detailing our relationship, the betrayal, and the photo. I kept it anonymous, but friends and family knew. It gained traction. People started sharing their own stories. It became a community of healing. Sarah's reputation took a hit. Mutual friends distanced themselves. She moved away eventually. I focused on rebuilding my life. Started therapy, picked up new hobbies, and eventually found love again. Looking back, I'm grateful for the experience. It taught me resilience, the importance of self-worth, and the power of community. To anyone going through something similar, know that you're not alone. Healing takes time, but it's possible. The day after I moved out, I got a text from Sarah. Not an apology this time, not another plea. Just a screenshot. It was a post from the blog I started. She somehow found out it was me. I stared at the screen, heart racing. She circled a paragraph and read and wrote, "This is slander. You're ruining my life. Delete it now." I didn't respond. 2 days later, I got an email from a lawyer. She was threatening to sue me for defamation. Said I was spreading lies that damaged her reputation. That I was emotionally abusive during the relationship, and the blog was retaliation. None of it was true. But she was serious. I had to get my own lawyer. That cost me a few thousand right out of the gate. The blog didn't even mention her name. But somehow, enough people had figured it out. She had friends who read between the lines. And maybe she was embarrassed. Good. Then came the knock on my door. Jake. He didn't look smug or threatening. Just tired. He asked if he could talk. I let him in. He stood in my kitchen and said, "She told me you hid her." I almost laughed. Then I saw he was serious. I said, "I've never laid a hand on her. Not once." "You believe that?" He didn't answer. Just looked at the floor. "She said you tracked her phone," he said. "That you threatened to post her nudes if she left." I was speechless. I told him to leave. He didn't argue. Just walked out slowly, like someone who just realized they'd made a mistake. The next day, I went to my lawyer with the texts, the screenshot of the post, everything. He said she didn't have a leg to stand on legally, but people have been sued for less. Meanwhile, Sarah started posting on her socials. Cryptic stuff. People will twist your kindness into a weapon. Stay away from narcissists. Healing is not linear. Friends who didn't know the whole story started messaging me, asking what happened. A few backed off. A few took her side. But then something strange happened. I got an email from a woman named Bree. She said she used to date Jake. Years ago. Said she saw the blog and recognized some of the stuff Sarah said, because Sarah had said it to her too. Apparently, Sarah and Jake had history before me. I didn't know that. Sarah said Jake was a college friend. But Bree told me they used to date, and it didn't end well. Jake was cheating back then, too. Sarah went ballistic and made it her mission to win him back someday. Said it like it was a joke. Maybe it wasn't. Bree offered to send me old texts, screenshots, even voicemails if I ever needed them. I told her, "Not now, but thank you." 2 weeks passed. The legal threat faded away. Turns out Sarah didn't really want to go to court. She just wanted to scare me into silence. Then I got a message that made my stomach drop. It was from an old friend of mine, Tommy. We go way back. He and his wife hosted dinners with me and Sarah. They loved her. He said, "Hey, sorry to bring this up, but I just found out something weird." He forwarded a screenshot. It was from a private group chat Sarah was in. She was talking about how she only dated me to heal from Jake, and how she could never sleep with someone who smelled like a hardware store. That one hurt. I used to work at Lowe's part-time when we met. She was laughing with her friends, talking about how easy it was to manipulate me. How I cried too easily. How I was way too sensitive for a man. I stared at that chat for a long time. That night I called Bree. I said, "Send me everything you have." Bree sent me a folder the next morning. Full of screenshots, voice notes, and old photos. There was one photo that froze me. It was from a party back in 2017. Jake, Bree, and there she was, Sarah. Sitting next to Jake, leaning in close. He had his arm around her, and she wasn't pulling away. The caption was, "The dream team back again." That was 2 years before I met Sarah. I kept going. The voice notes were even worse. In one, Sarah was drunk, laughing with someone, maybe Bree. Talking about how she could always get Jake back when she wanted. That he was like a dog that always comes home. And how this new guy, me, is just a safe choice. A backup plan. She said, "He's sweet, but boring. Honestly, I'm just with him until Jake stops being a coward." My hands were shaking when I finished listening. That wasn't just betrayal. That was premeditated. I was never a person to her. I was a placeholder. I sent the folder to my lawyer. Just in case. Then things got worse. Sarah's sister messaged me out of nowhere. Said she needed to talk. We'd never been close. She always seemed wary of me. She said, "I know we never got along, but I need to tell you something. Sarah's lying about everything." I didn't respond at first. She continued, "She said you stalked her? That you blackmailed her? None of it's true. I've known her for 30 years. She's a compulsive liar when things don't go her way." I asked her why she was reaching out now. She said, "Because she's doing the same thing to Jake." Apparently, Sarah and Jake had already split. Again. Less than a month after I left. Sarah told her family that Jake had emotionally abused her, and she was scared for her life. She went to stay with a friend in Oregon. Said she needed to heal? But her sister had doubts. She said, "It's the same story every time. She did this with her ex before you. And the one before him." I asked why she was defending me now. She said, "Because this time, she went too far. She's not just spinning stories anymore. She's ruining people. You were good to her. I saw that." I didn't know what to say. I asked her if she had any proof. She sent me screen recordings of Sarah's texts to their mom. In one, Sarah joked about breaking hearts just for sport. In another, she said, "I should have just cheated sooner. Would have saved me so much time." The worst part? Her mom laughed in reply. Meanwhile, the blog kept growing. I hadn't posted in weeks, but the traffic exploded. People were sharing it on Reddit, Facebook, Twitter. Some figured out it was me. I got DMs, some hateful, some kind. A guy even said, "Your story saved me from marrying someone just like her." Then one day, I saw Sarah again. In person. It was at the Pink Door. Again. I was there with a coworker, just grabbing lunch. And there she was, at the bar. Alone. She saw me, froze, and then walked over like nothing happened. She said, "Hey." I nodded. Didn't speak. She sat down. "You still mad?" she asked, half smiling. I didn't answer. Then she leaned in and whispered, "You didn't think I'd let you win, did you?" She got up and left. My coworker asked who that was. I didn't say a word. That night, I got a message from Jake. It was a screenshot of Sarah's new Instagram bio. It said, "Not broken. Just rearranged. Survivor." Then another message followed. "She's telling people you hit her." Again. I called my lawyer. Again. But this time, I also made a decision. One I hadn't considered before. I pulled up my email, opened a new draft, and typed, "To whom it may concern." And I reached out to someone I'd been avoiding for months, my HR department. I told HR everything. Not just about Sarah, but how her lies were creeping into my professional life. How the blog that never even named her was being twisted into a weapon against me. I handed them copies of the emails, texts, the threats. Even the photo of her and Jake at the restaurant. HR said they'd keep it on record. I didn't expect anything to come from it. I just wanted a layer of protection. Something in writing. But I wasn't done. I updated the blog. One last post. I called it The Whole Truth. I laid it out, every detail. From the first moment I met her, to the way she smiled at her phone, to the photo at the restaurant. I told them about the messages, the lies, the lawsuit threat, the manipulation, the heartbreak. And this time, I included the screenshots. Redacted some names, but made it obvious who she was to people who already knew. I ended it with her quote about just using him until Jake stops being a coward. It went viral. Like wildfire. A few popular relationship bloggers picked it up. Someone posted it to TikTok. It hit 2 million views in 2 days. The comments were brutal. And not just to her. Some called me weak. Some said I should have seen it coming. But most were on my side. 3 days later, I got a message from Sarah's job. From her boss. Apparently, someone had forwarded the post to them. She worked in HR for a large nonprofit. Reputation was everything. She got fired. Not put on leave. Not warned. Fired. The next day, her sister messaged me again. She said Sarah went nuclear. Accused her whole family of turning on her. Said they were all conspiring against her. Even blamed her mom. That part made me pause. Because even her mom, the one who laughed in those old texts, had finally said, "Enough." Sarah was spiraling. Posting unhinged stories. Saying she was stalked. That abusers wear nice smiles. People weren't buying it anymore. Then Jake messaged me again. He said, "She keyed my car." I told him, "File a police report." He did. She got charged. Nothing big, vandalism. But it was enough. Enough to go on record. And here's the twist most people don't expect. A few months later, I stopped blogging. The buzz died down. Life got quiet. I was healing. I was doing better. Then one day, I got a message. It was from Bree. She said, "You probably don't care, but thought you should know. Sarah's in Arizona. Some new guy. She's saying he rescued her from her abusive past. Same script. Different man. And I felt something I didn't expect. Not anger. Not sadness. Just relief. Relief that I got out when I did. That I didn't marry her. That I didn't share more of my life, my finances, my future with someone like that. But also shame. Because for all the damage she caused, I let her do it longer than I should have. I ignored the signs. I let love blind me. I didn't ask questions when things didn't add up. I believed her over my own gut. So yeah, she was toxic. But I made it easy. And I won't do that again. To the guy in Arizona, if this somehow finds you, run. And if you stay, document everything. Trust me.